Cable news is desperate for any information about the people involved in the shooting this week. Now, rummaging through their belongings apparently isn't going to teach us anything, but that's what they've got, and so they're going to take some video of it, which you'll see here.
Oh, this is awesome.
So at some point, supposedly, the landlord opened up the house of the two shooters.
You could see him do it.
You can see, yeah. And so members of the media just began going in and rummaging through, picking up their photos, taking pictures of their IDs.
Now, how are the cops not there, Johnny? How is that not sealed off? Talk about bad police.
It was sealed off. I mean,
there was a plastic seal on it?
No, there was no police seal, but I mean, the door he had to unscrew the door with a.
Oh, really?
No, they're almost certainly doing damage to the investigation. So journalists on Twitter reported that the sheriff's office said the crime scene was not cleared and the FBI did not let them in either. A Los Angeles Times reporter tweeted, a sheriff's deputy said, "I don't know why there's people in there because the investigation remains active." But who cares about that? We need to fill 24 hours a day of news.
Well, doesn't that compromise the crime scene, though?
100%.
Any of those reporters could have dropped anything. They could have pocketed or dropped stuff or planted stuff.
Well, there's another issue.
Was there somebody from Breitbart.com in there? I mean, who knows who was in there?
Mark Furman? I mean, it could have been
Mark
anything.
Furman in there? Exactly.
Well, look, now, so let's be fair in a couple of ways, and then we'll be unfair. No, both sides are fair. Okay, so number one, they claim, the landlord claims, a lot of the reporting I read claims that the FBI cleared the place and said, okay, landlord, you can go do whatever you want with it, okay? Now there are reports of other cops saying, no, it wasn't cleared, right? So that might be a little CYA, covering their ass afterwards. So should it have been cleared that quickly? It seems weird to us, right? Right.
And they would leave all that stuff in there.
Yeah, and there's also another case that their estate would have the property inside, so they should have let the parents come in and clean it out, not the media, right? There's not a lot of sympathy for the estate of Farouk and whoever she is. But
I have some sympathy for the 6-month-old kid. I have a little bit of sympathy there.
Yeah, they pushed him to the side while they did their filming.
Well, no, he wasn't.
I'm kidding.
Okay.
But
I'm being unfair.
From a journalistic point of view, like, the cops had not roped that off. There was no police tape there.
Okay, if there isn't, that's the police's fault then.
Then it's the cops.
I think so, yeah.
And most of the limited experience I have with police investigations, which comes mostly from talking to people on the phone while I'm watching cop shows on TV. But that's already done. I mean, they've had 48 hours. They had, believe me, they were all over that place for the last 48 hours. So
they took 1,000 pictures.
They've got 1,000 pictures. They've dusted the place. It's at some point every crime scene is done as a crime scene, and people get to go back and use it for something else. So it may well be that this was here. It did seem. It did seem super unseemly.
I don't have a problem with the reporters going in. I want them to try to find information and go in. I don't need a live camera they're doing it, because I'm sure a lot of the stuff they did on that live camera broadcast, they wouldn't do after. They wouldn't hold up, hey, by the way, we found a social security card from somebody. Hey, we found a They're just holding stuff up to the camera. You wouldn't do that after.
Kerry Sanders went in there, and he goes up the stairs, and he's like, well, I'm in what appears to be the kids' room. I'm like, yeah, the crib is there. So it appears to be the kids' room.
Nailed it.
And then he's like, there's a computer in here. The monitor's still here, but there's no hard drive. And then he grabs the plug, and he goes, this is where the hard drive would have been plugged into.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Right. I'm like, you're right. And like, if you were just being a reporter, showing around, even with a camera looking at it, you're not going to be like,
yeah.
Look at the plug.
Yeah. So the whole thing that it was like this whole, we got to show Donald Trump speeches live. We got to go into the apartment live. It's like, can't you go and do a
weird
report,
desperation.
Think about it, put it in context, and then do a report?
Because they see one group go in, and then it's a stampede, and like, fuck the standards, fuck the journalism. We're not going to be 10 seconds later. After all, we're competing with people. And in many cases, I don't think that people are like shopping back and forth between these channels. If MSNBC was first, the hardcore Fox viewers are not like, well, I guess I'll watch it on MSNBC. They'll never watch MSNBC anyway. How about give them 15 minutes in there, and then you send in your reporter.
CNN,
so it's not 30
CNN
people
was
picking
like,
through.
MSNBC's got the plug. MSNBC's got the plug.
So look, both sides here. Number one, if I'm a reporter in there, I rush in. I got to be honest, right? And so
with a live camera.
So that's the other side that I'm going to get to in a second. and they're in a panic because they think everybody's going to get it, right? They're going to put it on Twitter. They're going to, and which they did, by the way. MSNBC went live, but the other reporters took short little videos and immediately put it on Twitter and might have violated the policies of Twitter because they were showing people's personal information, right? So, let alone any ethical standards as a journalist. So that's the real problem, in my opinion. I think what most people are saying here, which is they took driver's license and put them on camera live, right? But what if it's not the attacker?
Yeah.
And they started speculating. Maybe it's her. Maybe it's not her. But everybody go find her. Don't wait. No, that's a bad idea, right?
Yeah.
And they started putting out personal information. They started leafing through their kids' pictures. And then it's got family members in the photo album.
Andrea Mitchell spoke up during that because she was
Andrea
hosting.
Mitchell in the beginning was like, "Hey, put up the driver's license in the camera or whatever." But then when they got to the kids, she's like, "Yeah, let's cut away. Let's cut away. That's a bad idea, right?"
But she was cheerleading the driver's license.
She asked him to put something up on the camera.
A good way to
Andrea
get
Mitchell.
around that is to not have a live camera.
Yeah, and they couldn't. That part they should have resisted. I get why they had trouble resisting it. And Kerry Sanders from MSNBC says he thinks Inside Edition paid $1,000 to get in there first. Okay, so there's that kind of swarm happening, right?
Yeah.
So on the one hand, I get it. On the other hand, I think we're all agreed. Don't put up pictures of people you don't know who they are. You don't know if they're the assailant. You don't know if they're family members. And put them in some degree of danger and put their personal information up. Oh, that's a pretty damn bad idea.
The final point that I want to make is the thing that I think that frustrates me about this, and maybe we're nitpicking too much on it, but it's that they all want to look at us. We are such professionals, investigators. We go in, we're going to do whatever it takes to find out this information, as if they largely, as organizations, care at all about investigative journalism, as if they're like, we're gonna ask the hard question. It's this simple, like it's right there. They can just send somebody, in a car. They don't have to go overseas. They don't have to ask a politician a hard question. It's a dead terrorist house. It's easy. It's that they take this opportunity to do easy journalism to get the aura of doing what they won't do.
That's right. Look, it's why we cover car chases. I mean, that's it. It's easy.
Yes.
It's there. It happens. Like,
Skycam's already up there.
You imagine, Woodward and Bernstein doing things this way? All right, I'm Bob Woodward, about to go into the garage. Inside the garage, meeting a source tells me, follow the money. I'm walking now into the... There he is, right over there. Excuse me, sir, deep throat. I have a quick question.
Yeah, and then the guy runs away and you have no story.
You have no story. Right.
It's funny, I can imagine Woodward doing that, but not.
Totally. Now I can imagine Woodward doing that. Right.
But that's such a great point because the other part of that is that there's no blowback if you're following a car down the highway or you're going into a terrorist house and violating their privacy. But if you do real investigations of the powerful of the government, there's going to be blowback and there's going to be criticism and it might hurt your career. So that you don't want to do too much. This is perfectly safe while having the veneer of investigative journalism.
Wow.